Hey everybody, what's up? This is Jesse Lee, and in this video we're on part 3 of how to get more Instagram likes and followers with optimization. Alright, so if you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, I'm going to leave the links in the description below. Nothing in this video is going to make sense unless you watch those, so go watch those and I'll wait for you here. No, I'm going to go ahead and start this video. Okay, so if you remember, if you don't remember, watch the other videos, but if you remember, in the last couple videos we talked about WIIFM. Why is that so important? We talked about hashtags and keywords. We talked about profiles, and we talked about posts, how to optimize all those things. Now, we're going to talk about links. This is super important because where your traffic is going is, it's like, how do I say this? It's just really important for you not to send people who are actually interested in showing up at your profile, and you did something so good that they're like, wow, I'm so interested in this person that I want to click this link, right? So here's the issue with the way people post links. I'm going to demonstrate this. Let's see, let me find one of my followers, just so I'm not being particular. Let's do this guy. I don't know. Okay, Andy Warren. Okay, so he's a musician. He's got a link there. Let's see what he's got. So perfect example of not to do the things I was telling you about in the last video. He's clearly a drummer. He's like wants to be known for being a drummer, but then he's got like food and like dogs and, you know, more dogs. I mean, yeah, maybe you could get away with kind of sub-branding, but look, Chinese food, shoes, like nobody knows what this guy's account is about. So Instagram certainly doesn't know. Now, once you get to the point where you're big enough and you figure out who your followers are, you can put memes that are sort of unrelated that your audience will understand. But by and large, this is a perfect example of what not to do. Yeah, like it's like cookies, chicken, more chicken, like America, Grub thing. Tums. Yeah, so as you can see, this guy's account has 0 theme. So it might be fine for the followers that he has, but to get more followers, he needs to kind of adhere to the Instagram algorithms, and the way he's got to do that is niche it down. Now, we're talking about links now. This is super important. Okay, you see this link here? See how it leads to Apple Music, right? Now, what have you noticed about Instagram? I'm going to ask you a question. Have you noticed anything weird about Instagram unless you get a follower? What do you notice about let's say right here, unless you get a comment or a like, if you get views or interactions, right, you can't really tell where they're coming from. And even if someone is, if you can, you don't really have any good analytics on who's following your account. And so that means when somebody comes up here to click on your link, you also don't know who that person is. So you won't have a good way to you don't have a good way to connect with them unless you send them somewhere where you can talk to them directly. So if I click on this, let's just see about this. So this leads to a music platform for listening. This might seem smart to you, but I'm going to tell you right now, with click-through rates of like as abysmally low as they are on Instagram, sending someone here, once they're off here and they're on here, there are so many buttons they can press to just, like, what if they're not interested in this? They're like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to go over here to music because I'm going to try to find something else. Right? There's no way to control this. Whereas what you want to do is you want to get people in a position where if they're devoted enough to where they're actually into, like, it takes a lot for somebody to be interested enough to click a link. And if you send them to some arbitrary place where you can't actually have a conversation with them afterwards, then you're just wasting that traffic. I'm going to be honest. Like, I freaking, man, I'm trying not to cuss right now because this enrages me so much when I see this. I can't feel sorry for people that do this anymore. But when you do this and they go to just some random ass website where, like, okay, you get one stream. Even if you're getting paid, what did that do? After 100 posts, you got one person to click and then you got 1 cent streaming royalty? No, that's like, don't do that. What you want to do is you want to send someone to like a place where they can interact with you on a more intimate level. That's the only reason anybody would want to click a link, is because they're like, oh, this guy's really interesting. I wonder what he has to offer. Remember WIIFM? That's so important here because, like, I don't know, somebody's on a drumming account. Why on earth I don't even, dude, this is so horrible. I'm sorry, I don't mean to rag on this guy, but like, who is this person? Jessica Michelle Singleton. Is that somebody that he plays for? Is that his wife? Like, what is the connection here? This is so, like, somebody who clicks through that there's not going to be any connection at all, right? Whereas, if you look at my account, and again, I don't mean to be harsh with this guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. So, look at my account. Look, I got the call to action, the red arrows like I told you. It goes to my website. Now, I'm revamping this. Notice the website link. It doesn't lead exactly where I want, but if I at least get them to my website, then I at least have some, Google Analytics on where they're coming from and maybe ways I could retarget them, right? But here, notice I have a very clear answer. I'm like, I'm a Los Angeles drummer. If you like drum lessons, click here, and that will lead to drum lessons. It's very clear. And when you get to the next page, it's not going to scare you off because you actually know where you're going. That last guy, it just seems spammy because, like, what was that giant ugly link all about? Where was he? It was under my followers. Like, that giant freaking ugly ass link. And I'm sorry for my language, but like, this is, where is it? This guy? Yeah. Look at that. That's awful looking. That's horrendous. Look at that. So mine, you know where you're going. I mean, just ask yourself, would you want to click a link that you put, like, I don't know, man. I don't want to click that link. So I want to click a nice friendly looking link, right? And then when people get to the page, I want it to be somewhere I can control, not some arbitrary black box website where I don't know what action they take after. And that looks like something like this. So this is what I'm building out now. As you can see, if you want drum lessons, get here. Click here, right? And then and then once they get here, they're like, oh, this is cool. If I sign up, I get all this cool drum lesson stuff. So there's a coherence between the link that you're posting and the landing page that you're posting on. And notice, if they jump in here, they opt in here, now they're on my email list. And now I can communicate with them on a much more intimate basis. This whole thing of just posting random like Linktree links and like Spotify links, it's like, dude, you are freaking wasting your traffic. So, I mean, if you have, maybe you don't have a website, maybe you don't have a mailing list, in which case you got to do what you can. But my sincere wish for you is that if you're watching this video right now, figure this out. Figure out where, okay, what's the next step? You want to be able to, for someone who's following your account, obviously here, they want drum lessons. That's what I'm posting. I'm posting cool beats. There's a nice flow between the logic of the page and what link they're clicking on. This is so important. And so when they get over here, and also, by the way, they see my username right at the top, JL Kickboom. Notice that? I don't know if you guys notice. This is called AdScent, where it's like the scent of the page you're on before that there has to be some familiarity on the page you're coming up to. So, so again, going back to this concept of WIIFM, what do people want? Well, they want, if they're drummers and they want drum lessons, look, I got this really awesome drum beat black book that they can download. And I'm giving this to them in exchange for their email address because I want to be able to provide something very valuable for them. So if you're a musician or if you're an artist, maybe you can provide like a free CD, a free set of MP3s. One MP3 is kind of cheap. Nobody's going to download that. But if you notice, I got a bunch of stuff in here. I haven't stacked this all up yet, but I've got, this is just one of the things you get. And you don't have to do this. You could get away with just one, like a page basically like this. But I'm building this out because whenever drummers come through, I know my market. And I know that people, one of the most common questions in my niche is, how much does an electric drum set cost? So I have this drum buyer's cheat sheet, right? And then I also know a bunch of my traffic comes from YouTube. So I've also created a bunch of PDFs for my YouTube lessons. And then I've also created, I've got tons of stuff here. So when people come to this page, I can incentivize them to get on my email list. And now I can have a conversation with them. And now they're in my domain. So if I ever get booted from Instagram, my followers are still my followers on my email list. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. So links are super important. Don't post ugly links. And then post them to, don't post ugly links. You want to post like nice and pretty links. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure there's a nice cohesion between your call to action and the link and the next page to get on. And if you can, I would actually maybe, and this is what I'm in the process of doing. This page, by the way, is just a sample. I'm still building this, but what I might end up doing is putting something very familiar besides just the username, but maybe even this, like taking this image and putting it somewhere on here to where they know this page is owned by me. It's very important. So, all right. I hope I didn't offend some of you guys. I hope I didn't like chew that guy out too bad. That's gonna suck if he ever finds this video and he notices that I'm like, you know, tearing his stuff apart. If you're watching, random guy, it's nothing personal. Your account is just not optimized very well. Watch this video set. Okay, yeah, watch the videos in the last couple descriptions and you'll figure out what not to do with your account. All right, so last thing, as I mentioned in one of the other videos, but I do have this special free report. Gosh, this thing's just always in the way. On Instagram Reels and how to get the most out of your Instagram Reels marketing. So definitely download that in the description, and we will talk soon. I'll see you all later.